the morning, I'm really struck by the profusion of women in the public space, cleaning the streets, weaving jasmine flowers, or just going to work in factories and in homes. What also strikes me is their perfectly groomed hair, usually with fresh flowers in it, and their brightly colored saris. It gives me great joy, and so it should for all of us. The data bears us out. 43% of the total female manufacturing workforce in India is in Tamil Nadu. Chennai is a leading Indian city for women in tech and manufacturing, with 35% of its workforce being female. So no surprise that we have Malika Srinivasan of Taffy as our chief guest. She's emblematic of a city that is really all about women power. Taffy, as you all know, is one of the largest tractor manufacturers in the world, completely made in India and for the world. Tamil Nadu has a lot of other women who perhaps are not so visible but should be. It has over 5 lakh self-help groups. It is third in female literacy after Kerala and Himachal Pradesh, with a total fertility rate of 1.4 and ready to hit population stabilization by 2035. Safe streets, or at least safer than Delhi, government assistance, working women's hostels, one right here, I think, across the road, which really struck me. We don't really see these in Delhi, where I come from. And all these, I think, have really helped to make and help women claim public spaces, whether it is unionized auto drivers, and we have a champion here among the Devis today, or as post office workers, as I was reading the other day. Chennai also has a remarkable history of women in public life. The women in Madras apparently voted in 1921, which I didn't know, which is ahead of 90% of the world. As one historian wrote recently in the New Indian Express, because of course I only read the New Indian Express, women have built this city with bricks, blood, and words. And it was in the New Indian Express again that I read some of the history of some of the amazing women who seem to have been forgotten. The woman who built the first cancer hospital in India, the first South Indian author to have written an English novel, the woman who founded the Madras School of Social Work, for instance. And I think a lot of it, of course, has to do with the grassroots level institutional building programs which date back to 1989. And also, I think, the fully state-funded 1997 program called Mahalet Thittam. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. And even more recently, I was really thrilled to learn of a very interesting but small initiative. But again, it tells you it's emblematic of how progressive the city is. The Gender and Policy Lab, set up by the Greater Chennai Corporation in 2022, is the first of its kind effort by any urban local body to mainstream gender concerns in public infrastructure. How I wish we had this in Delhi. These are all amazing innovations given what's happening to other cities in India. Chennai is because of women like you. It's because of its educators, its dancers, its singers, its scientists, its factory workers, its farm workers. And tonight we will be honoring many of these women, and I can't wait to introduce many of them to you, although you seem to know quite a few of them already, which is always nice. So first, though, let us have the welcome speech by Lakshmi Menon, our CEO of the New Indian Express. Lakshmi, as you can see, we walk the talk. Little louder applause would be nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Kaveri. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to Devi Awards, Chennai, an evening where we celebrate excellence, honor, inspiration, and put the power of women firmly in the spotlight. Now, being in Chennai, we know a thing or two about resilience. After all, we survived the blazing sun that could fry an egg on the pavement, the monsoon showers that appear without any warning whatsoever, and mornings that begin only after a strong filter coffee that could fuel our entire workforce. Tonight, we celebrate that very spirit of resilience in women of Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu has always been a land of Shakti. As we say in Tamil, Pennan Shaktiye Samugathin Shakti. From our goddesses to grandmothers, from classrooms to boardrooms, from farms to factories, the women of the state embody resilience, wisdom, and quiet power. They show us every day that true strength does not need to announce itself. It simply delivers results. We're especially honored to have with us as our chief guest, Ms. Mallika Srinivasan, Chairman and Managing Director of TEFE, a visionary leader in Indian industry. She represents leadership rooted in values, purpose, and impact. Leading an organization that supports millions of farmers, she understands growth that is both sustainable and meaningful. We're truly privileged by her presence this evening. A warm welcome to all our Devis. Tonight, we celebrate you. Your incredible journeys remind us that success may take many paths, but determination, courage, and integrity are always the common threads. I extend our heartfelt welcome to each of you who've joined us this evening to honor our Devis. Women who've transformed challenges into triumphs and who continue to make India proud through their passion, perseverance, and leadership. Let us begin by saluting the spirit of the Devis, the power that nurtures, leads, and transforms. Welcome to Devi Awards, Chennai. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Lakshmi, our very own Devi. We'll have the lighting of the lamp now. May I request Ms. Srinivasan, Mr. Prabhu Chawla, Editorial Director, TNIE, and Ms. Lakshmi Menon to come to the stage and light the lamp. Thank you. Thank you so much. May I request Ms. Srinivasan to stay on stage? We'll be doing a little interview. If you could take your seat. And we'll also have the Devi song. Magesh, if you could play that. one of your students as well. Wonderful. Aisha Rao, you'll see her soon. She runs a theatre group also for toddlers and babies. So she practices what she preaches. I'm so happy to see that. Thank you so much for all of you being here. I think you're all excited to listen to Malika. I am. I'll call you Malika. Ms. Srinivasan is too much of a mouthful. Malika, I have to ask you about Made in India, because we hear so much about Atmanirbhar Bharat, but only very recently. And I wonder, you've been practicing it, for 60 years now. Actually, the company is almost as old as, I think, yeah, you are. It's all right, we're all in that age group. So talk about Made in India and why it's so important for Taffy.
First, before I launch into that, Kaveri, let me first thank everybody, Prabhu, Lakshmi, and yourselves, and Manoj, who's not here today, for inviting me to be here today. I think the New Indian Express has always been a protagonist for important causes that impact society, and the Devi Awards has certainly been one very impactful initiative.
You're an alumni, right?
Absolutely, me and my daughter. So we are thankful to Express and to the New Indian Express. It's been great. They have been impactful. Today we are not just celebrating or giving awards. We are celebrating contributions. We are being inspired. We inspire. We are being inspired. We are celebrating women who've made contributions to societies, communities, and built institutions. So for me, it's an honor to be here today, and thank you for the privilege.
Thank you so
now
much.
I'll get to your question. Now I've forgotten your question. So what was that question? Was about Make in India. Okay, let me go back. It's something I'm very passionate about, and I'm happy you opened with that line. Let me go back perhaps to the times when India began its liberalization journey. Until then, it was a very different world. Liberalization changed the entire dynamic of, coming from manufacturing, I think it changed the entire dynamic of joint ventures and partnerships. And that's where my conviction was born, that if you had to be strong, if you had to be independent and grow in a sustainable long-term fashion, then you had to create your own future. Okay, but that create your own future, and that led us to invest in product, in process, in technology. And looking back in retrospect, I think it was perfect. The timing was perfect. The start was perfect, because today we can design in India, make in India, make for India, and for the globe. So that's where my conviction was born.
Absolutely. And how much of that was prompted by your family, by your parents, by your father?
So I won't link the Make in India to my parents, but I'd link something else. I think we are, I think when you were making your opening comments just now, you talked about values, and struck a chord with me there as you were making your comments, because I think we are a very value-based culture in the family and in the company. To us, because values, when you internalize them and translate them into good governance, then that makes it very sustainable. And I think that's the biggest learning I had from the family. I can't say it's always easy to keep maintaining it and living by it, especially as times are changing and across generations. It's hard. You have to make an effort to do that. But to me, I think that's what I learned from the family.
In fact, that's the next question. In these uncertain times, the shortcut always seems simpler, but in the long run, we know that shortcuts don't work. So really, what is, what are the things that you do to keep calm and to avoid pressure in these uncertain times?
I don't know what I do, but I certainly can say that when there are challenging times, there is a lot of pressure. Sometimes you anticipate it, sometimes you don't. It just hits you, bolt from the blue, and most often bolt from the blue. And if you are ambitious and you want to do something with your life, you are going to have challenges. So I think the first is to accept that. To accept that if you're aiming, if you're aspiring for excellence, you're aiming for being out of the ordinary, if you're going against the current, so to speak, you are going to have challenges, and that's part of the scene. So I think is really about developing a very calm, practical, and rational approach, and that helps us through it, without losing sight of where you want to go. So it's a fair amount of determination to keep calm sometimes, but I think that's what it takes.
You know, often with young women especially, older women, especially in leadership positions, don't always give them the full picture of the challenges. I've heard this a lot from a lot of young women. They say that, women in leadership positions make it look so easy, but it's not. So what is the advice that you would give them? Because it isn't. It is tough. And especially if you have families, you have aging parents, young children, there's so many challenges. You want a role in the company, you want a role in the public sphere, so many things that a woman wants to do, and yet sometimes she feels that she's not able to do that. Is that a self-limiting thing, or is that something that she needs to, as Sheryl Sandberg would say, lean into?
I think first you said that it is tough. And I think the more you think about how tough it is, the tougher it gets. So I have a slightly different take from saying constantly thinking about the toughness is really gets tougher. So my often approach is it's about a very positive attitude, and that's why I talked about being practical. You got to accept this is what it is. This is where it is. This is my context. This is the situation, and work your way through that. And therefore I don't think it's about not telling them all the trouble that there is. There's more trouble if you think there is. So I think that's the point I'm trying to make. There will be trouble for everyone. The challenges for everyone. Let's understand our context, and only one thing perhaps I can add is to say go with the flow. Go with the flow, keep your vision clearly in focus. But like a river meanders along, you might have to change course now and then, but keep that vision in sharp focus.
In fact, I love what you said, like the river meanders, because often we seem to be in a hurry. In my youth, and I was young once, I felt that time is so short, and I've got to do this now, and I've got to accomplish this now. Then you realize as you age, there is no such thing as a short span of time. You can take your time and build a long and sustainable career. That is important, isn't it? And that's something that men also need to learn, but it's tougher changing them. Women, it's easier to change.
So we won't get into the topic about changing men. So I'll refrain from that at this point. I think a lot of friends here. So let's not get into that one. But I will say, I think we have a lot of younger women in the company as well. And of course in the family, success gives you confidence. Short-term success gives you confidence, it gives you pride. And as they say, there's nothing succeeds like success. So yes, it's nice to have. It's nice to have quick, short-term success. But while we enjoy that, it's also simultaneously, you mentioned about long-term, it's nice to have a good, clear vision of where we are going long-term. And whatever pieces of work or career changes or entrepreneurial decisions that you may take, all of those steps need to form some kind of a cogent picture, and not be random, but form some kind of a cogent picture that will lead you towards that broader vision that you have for yourself.
Because often when one door closes, as we know, another window or door opens, and you have to be ready for it as well, right? So you have to be a lifelong learner, you have to be flexible. That's one of the things that you often talk about, to be flexible. And women, I think, are far more flexible. Again, there we go comparing them to men. But women are flexible and they are lifelong learners. I think it's inbuilt in them, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. Women can adapt. So let's look at the strengths. We're always looking at the difficulties. Let's look at the strengths. The strengths is we can adapt. And I think bringing up children has put in you a lot more adaptability.
I think it teaches patience to everyone.
Patience, and a lot of adjusting on your own. So I think that is the strength. And learning is not a problem. I have one colleague here. And Sunita, where are you? Is she here? Here is Sunita. And she is one of those Devis here who's a constant learner. And this morning she came to me and said she wants to now, she's already very good with AI and digital and everything. And she wanted to get sponsored to a really a top-notch program so that she can become a specialist in AI. Wow. And Sunita is one of us. She's worked with me for a long time, and she epitomizes constant learning. And my women learn faster than the men. I'll say that even in front of Prabhu.
But I think that is very important, you know, the idea of meandering, taking the scenic route sometimes, stopping along the way.
Yeah.
It's all right.
It's okay.
Yeah, you
It's
know.
okay, but as long as you know your destination.
Yeah, I think that's very important.
Yeah, and you remain that calm.
Yeah. So how much really do you expect from women as we go forward? Because they are a powerful force of change. How much do you think they're going to be a force to reckon with, let's say, in the next 10 years?
You're talking from an economic standpoint?
And socially as well, because you see so many attitudinal changes happening because the women are demanding it. And sometimes not with rage or with anger, but just in a very, I won't even say polite, but in a very subtle way. We have a way of asking for change.
Sometimes subtly, sometimes with rage and anger is okay.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's okay. But I think there is...
But as I said, you know, once you have children, they teach you so much patience, you forget what you were when you were 20 maybe.
So I would like to touch more upon, I think with the social impact is clear. I would really like to touch a little bit about the economic impact that women can have. We have set for ourselves as a country a goal of being third largest economic power. We want to have Viksit Bharat by 2047. And all of this means that we are going to have to grow faster than we are growing today. And we have to grow at an estimated like greater than 8%. And how can you grow faster than every other country if our women don't pull? If our women are not an active part of nation building, if our women are not an active part of GDP growth, how can we grow? So essentially, I think that central role is getting more understood. It's heartening to see more and more policies come out at central and state governments driving this greater participation. Education's at a good level. We've done a lot of work in the area of education, and I think it's wonderful to see recently, for example, in Tamil Nadu, and you talked about Tamil Nadu in your opening comments. I think we are all very fortunate to have been born in this state.
Yes.
It's about the best ecosystem.
Says someone who has lived in Delhi most of her life.
Yes, and says someone who's lived in Chennai most of her life as well. But it's a great ecosystem. And then I think new initiatives like the one that was launched just 2 days ago, happened to be a part of it, the Tamil Nadu We Safe initiative. And I picked this initiative. You mentioned a lot. Yeah. You mentioned a number of the initiatives. I picked this one because I think it's signaling a change. It's signaling, it's 360 degrees, but it's signaling a change from welfare to empowerment. That's critical, because only when it moves to empowerment can you have sustained transformation. Welfare is good, and today I'm not even sure about welfare alone being the requirement of women. I think women have also grown in this state beyond welfare. They want more, they need more, and the shift towards empowering them for employability or for entrepreneurship is the change that's happening in the state. And I think that's the most welcome move.
Now, how much of that do you think is changing? The fact that women are taking the risk or now can feel that they are in a position to take a risk and start businesses. How do you see that happening around you?
Is it just about workforce or business specific?
Businesses, being empowerment leading to entrepreneurship.
So I think that still we have challenges. We have challenges. One of the biggest challenges is perhaps coming from access to capital. Access to funding is one of the biggest challenges. I don't have the statistics offhand with me, but venture capitalists are at it, governments are at it, but I think there's still more to be done. And perhaps I can venture to say that it's not that women lack entrepreneurial abilities. They're
We
fantastic.
see that with self-help groups,
absolutely.
right?
They've created
I
a
think that's
revolution in
something, yeah.
Tamil Nadu with the self-help groups. With the self-help groups, rural entrepreneurship, it's amazing. Some of the examples, inspiring. Soumya is also here, so she will agree with me when I say rural entrepreneurship is one of the most inspiring spaces. But at the core of it, if I can venture to go that far, to say I think entrepreneurship as in the case of participation in the workforce, or in the case of rising to corporate, the C-suite kind of rise, is all rooted in one fundamental problem, and I think that's what we have to attack. So what we need is really social transformation. That will help all three: participation in the workforce, entrepreneurship, and corporate leadership.
I wonder, as a boss, sometimes have you seen really bright women having to sort of opt out of the workforce? How heartbreaking is that because of a domestic issue, or, maybe the husband's getting transferred, or she has to take care of the children or aging parents?
Happens
How
all the time.
heartbreaking is
It
that?
happens all the time.
Yeah, but it's really terrible to see that.
It really depends on the individual. That's why I say there is a social transformation that is required. And there's no running away from that.
Right. So, the other thing that I wanted to focus on was the fact of manufacturing. And, you work, obviously these are tractors, and you work with farm workers. I've always noticed that, I forgot that we were not sitting across the dining table or in the drawing room and having a conversation. But I've always noticed that the back-breaking work of farming is actually done by the women. I wonder, when it comes to mechanization, I think it's all the men who usually work the tractors. I wonder what you've observed in this, and how much of that you've seen, and what do you think can be done about that?
So yes, women do some of the labor, but I think it's moving beyond. It's moving beyond being agricultural laborers to being entrepreneurs.
Right.
The farm. You talked about the self-help
Yeah.
groups, and I think they're also very iconic. And you talked about tractors and women.
Yeah.
Artists. I want to share with you an example.
I've seen you on a tractor.
And I'll share with you a more inspiring example than seeing me on a tractor. And I think we have a number of women farmers who work on our machines. And I think one of the most inspiring has been a lady from Rajasthan. She's from the Bishnoi community, very traditional, and they're always in their gungat, but she had to take care of the farm. And that was the sole livelihood. So without defying her culture, she has learnt, and for a couple of decades now, learned to drive that tractor and do every farm operation with her gungat on. So she can't see, she cannot doesn't know where, but she does a fantastic job. And she's one of the highest yields in that area as well. So we have some really
Whoever she
inspiring
is, a warm round of applause for her.
And I'll show you one more example of an iconic farmer from our own state. Some of you may have heard about her, and for me, she has been a big inspiration. Patamal is her name, often known as Pati. Pati was 105 years old, and only recently passed away, and got a Padma Shri in 2021, one of the most active cultivars and one of the most innovative farmers, taking lab to land ambassador, taking technology with respect to soil. She was completely organic. So she took all the techniques to the land and she taught and mentored so many generations of farmers and actively working herself well past 100.
Amazing.
So I think that's a very, very inspiring story. I could go on with
That's
this.
the invisible working
Yes.
woman, right? But what about the visible working women? How do we increase their participation? Can things be done to make sure that there are more women in the workforce? Can we improve the conditions in factories, in in offices? What can we do there?
So let me start with offices and what we do in the corporate. Every corporate does something today. Today, every corporate has some program. It's either for larger participation in the workforce, or for skill development, or for leadership development. We do. Everybody does. There are many factories in Tamil Nadu with that participation rate of 43% of organized labor being in Tamil Nadu. As far as women, 43% of the women in India in manufacturing are in Tamil Nadu. So yes, we are pretty advanced on that front. And every factory is doing, one of our sister companies, for example, the one that my daughter runs, that factory has gone up multifold with respect to the women on the workforce. Automation, robots, cobots, all helping the dynamic on the workforce. Leadership development, ensuring parity, all this we are doing. For example, we have a factory at Tafe where we have all women, but special, all differently abled women. They do our wiring harnesses for all the tractors. They produce to global standards during, even during the corona, and always, every year. They are the lowest absenteeism in the country, in the company. They are the highest quality levels and highest engagement scores. They're just simply brilliant. So, and they've all feel so empowered because they're all, and one of them has turned out to be an international athlete as well in the Paralympics. So we have some very inspiring examples there. That's what corporate India is doing. But corporate India can't do it alone. There is a very, as I mentioned, social transformation, but there's a lot of government policy and government initiative. And maybe I'll touch about 2, 3. There's so much that can be done. But maybe I'll touch upon a couple, 2 or 3 that are particularly close to my heart. Not in any order of priority, but one is vocational training. Still, if you see vocational training, they will tell you more and more women are engaged in vocational training. But it's by and large restricted to traditional areas. Childcare, nutrition, nurses, and so on. So one thing we can do is to make vocational training way more diverse. And that would give better employability. Vocational training itself has to become more aspirational and be made aspirational as a route to economic empowerment. So that's one. The second, I think, our education. It's really quite pathetic with respect to the numbers that we see of placement. When you look at a college and you say, what is the placement? It's really low. Because I think our educational policy needs to be more agile, adaptable, and align with what it requires for employability. It's out of sync with what is required for employability. The third point I'd like to make, and I think this is across all levels, doesn't mean it is across all women need this, whether they're in factory, whether they're self-help groups, whether they are in the tea gardens, whether they are in corporate, whether they're in leadership, everybody needs access to high quality, dependable childcare, certified childcare. So this needs to necessarily be maybe a public, if we can create a fantastic digital public infrastructure, why not high quality certified public childcare infrastructure. And if that is there, that would transform things. And finally, I'd like to keep talking to you about this transformation. I think government can play a role through social awareness campaigns, through campaigns that stress that equality is a very foundational principle. If it's a foundational principle, and that needs to be emphasized, it needs to start at home. It needs to start in homes, and it needs to be in the schools, and I think government can do a great job. If government and schools align in this objective, I think then we've won a big victory.
Absolutely. The other thing that struck me was your tenure as the chair of the PSEB. I wonder, what is the kind of leadership that you saw there, and how tough was it to choose or to let your preference be known for a particular candidate? And what is the kind of leadership, what is the kind of diversity? Did you come across interesting women who've done amazing work? Talk a little about this experience.
Thank you. I will not talk about the process, except to say that it's a very transparent, merit-oriented process. But I'll talk about my learnings from this. I think when I joined the PSB, and I didn't ever dream that I would have anything to do with the public sector. Well, anyway, I was in this position, and what I've learned is, 5 years ago, I'll give a statistic, and absolutely do not claim that I'm responsible for this, but I'll just share a statistic. 5 years ago, when I came into this role, everyone was talking about disinvestment. You don't hear so much about disinvestment anymore, because the performance of the public sector, with all the government investment and all the support from government, and with the right people, in the right place, has just skyrocketed. Good tailwinds, everything together has skyrocketed. If you look at market cap of public sector, it has grown at, pardon me if my statistic is slightly off the mark, but approximately 39% CAGR over the last 5 years. So the talent is there. The talent is there, and its government is supporting it, government's investing, and it's all about across, you see, it's amazing. And across all sectors, and these are serious sectors: energy, shipbuilding, mining, steel production, power, so very, very, heavy infrastructure sectors. And some, you asked me about inspirational women examples. There's been good talent, and they've been given an opportunity and an environment to succeed. And I think, for example, she was the first woman, I believe, on the IOCL board, and she ran all their refineries. She was our pick. She came as director refineries. Then currently we have the chairman of the Power Finance Corporation, also who's a woman. So, and I could go on. So there are plenty of very good examples, although I would like to say that I wish the pipeline were thicker.
What does good governance mean in these times especially? I'm so sorry, this is really getting to be a habit. It's very disconcerting when you think that you're having a nice chat. But tell me, what does good governance mean in these uncertain times, especially when you don't know what that man sitting in the White House or the Golden House or whatever he's going to call it these days is going to get up and do in the morning?
As I said earlier, I give you an example of the liberalization era, when it was very volatile times. And at that point, Indian industry was also not as confident as Indian industry today. So I think today we are way more confident, and in terms of being able to face the onslaught, and we are looking as a nation, as an industry, we look for opportunities. Just look at what happened with the EU Trade Pact that happened. So we find avenues for growth, and we explore those opportunities. And governance is about holding your values and translating them into governance that you can actually institutionalize and internalize.
Talking about values, can we articulate what these values are? How would you define them?
Absolutely, you can articulate. You need to articulate. We had these values that came down from maybe generation to generation, but a couple of decades ago we sat down and said, I think if we want to institutionalize this, we need to articulate this. So we put down a value statement, we put down a set of values, and this was not done by just the top management team. This had employee representation across, came together. Sunita created a value wheel out of it to communicate it properly. And we definitely have put it down very, very clearly. And not only put it down, we came up with who would, for example, projects where we had sponsors for that particular value so that we could institutionalize it. We've taken a lot of consistent effort through that. Yes, we have it articulated. We've reviewed it recently. We've perhaps tightened it, not veered very far away, but tightened it for the modern generation to say we need to project these a little bit more differently, we need to package it. But it's clear, there are some values which are very eternal and you need to hang on to them. For us, for example, it's ethics, it's quality, it's customer, and it's long-term relationship with our stakeholders. So we have them very well articulated.
I also, on YouTube, I think I saw you at an open house, I think, with the people who work with you.
Where did you come in and peep into our open house?
It was actually on YouTube, so I was very happy to see that.
Hey,
But
Sunita, what have you been putting on YouTube?
But it was so good. I don't know who put it up, but it was very good. And I liked the communication that you had, and you were honoring people who'd worked with you for a long time. Those are things that help, don't they?
Of course they help.
And that's
help.
leadership and empathy.
They help, yes. They help because we believe that we are at one team. We are one team, we are a larger family, and we work together like that. So, and we honor that's why I said long-term relationship with stakeholders is very core to us, and I'm proud to say that that's what's holding our attrition at a very low level.
Yeah, you were talking about some people who were with you for years and decades.
Yeah, most do.
Yeah.
Most do, and we are very proud. We're very proud of that because truly they're extended family.
So that's, of course, talking about the company. We've talked about you. We've talked not so much about you, but what about where we are as a nation currently? We've heard about the manufacturing moment that we're supposed to be in. We've just had this trade deal that everyone's very chuffed about. How do you see us as a nation at this point, economically, socially, and culturally? Not just economically, but socially and culturally as well.
I think we touched on the social and the cultural, social aspects, at least from a women's perspective. But I started with this, and perhaps if this is to say, I'll end with this to say, I am very, very upbeat about India. Some of us wish that we could start our journey now, because this is such a fantastic place to be in, a really great place. It's making many of us feel much younger to say that, look, we want to do a lot more because this environment is so good right now, and getting better as a nation for entrepreneurships. And if you meet the startups, it's amazing. And you don't even know they are in your own city. They're in your own city, and they're boldly taking moves that take, 2 days ago I met two of the startups. Both of them were from the space sector, and we have 125 startups in the space sector. And he was telling me about how his company is launching rockets for anyone, and it's sort of platform agnostic. Anybody can launch the rocket, and he's doing his private sector startup. The other one was telling me about his satellite, that he does refueling of satellites. So he sends up the satellites to refuel the other satellites. Amazing story. So when I asked each one of them, and we're a group of people, and I asked each one of them, all startups saying, what about IP? What about your IP? Where are you getting your technology from? And I'm passionate about that, so I asked. And every one of them said that IP is our own IP. And I think that says a lot about what it holds for the future.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for talking to me. Thank you so much for coming here. And may I request you to stay back, because we will now give away the awards. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you so much, Kaveri, and thank you all for this honor.
And I like your shoes. I have to be a little shallow also. I love your shoes.
And I love shoes too.
Yes, we're all allowed to have our little passions.
So can I make a comment, Kaveri? Taking off from shoes. So one thing I always tell my women in our twin meetings and say, we usually meet around Diwali time or New Year time, and we will ask them, how many of you spent on yourself?
Right.
And initial years, we didn't have too many hands going up, but they progressively more hands have gone up, because I think we've put in them that if you are earning and you're economically empowered, that is the greatest freedom. That is the greatest freedom, not to spend or you please do that, but it's the greatest freedom to think, because it allows you to have your own view. And don't hesitate to spend on yourselves, be it for a handbag or for shoes.
Wonderful. That's advice that we're all happy to take, I think. Thank you so much. May I now request Mr. Chawla to come to the stage and help in giving away the Devi Awards. We just do a little bit of stage clearance. Mr. Chawla, will keep the mic, please. I think that baby needs to go to your class, Aisha. Great. So we'll begin with the Devi Awards, and thank you all. It looks so lovely from here, let me tell you. Looking at all of you from here, you look fantastic. We'll begin with Dr. Tara Srinivasan, psychiatrist. Maybe have a warm round of applause for her. Sure. For a trailblazing contribution to mental health care, from lobbying for the inclusion of psychiatric disability in the Persons with Disabilities Act 1996, to developing ideas, a measuring tool to assess mental disability. As co-founder of SCARF, Schizophrenia Research Foundation, an NGO in Chennai, Dr. Srinivasan has also pioneered the use of mobile telepsychiatry. And let me tell you, that has really changed a lot of lives. So thank you for that. So the New Indian Express honors Dr. Tara Srinivasan, Devi of Compassion. May we have the award, please. Yes, to the side. Dr. Srinivasan, may I just ask you a couple of questions? It was very difficult to persuade her to come to the front. I think she is so used to working quietly, silently, and she had to be really persuaded to come and sit up front. But Dr. Srinivasan, I wanted to ask you about working with schizophrenics, working with people who suffer from schizophrenia. It's so demanding. How do you cope with it?
I mean, I want to talk about mental health in general, not just schizophrenia, because as you all of you know, mental health is becoming an increasingly important part of health and general well-being. And I just want you to all understand that 1 in 4 people in the world suffer from some kind of stress or emotional disorders. That is a kind of numbers that we are dealing with. Schizophrenia, it is really at one extreme end of the problem, and it needs many, many years of understanding and research and dedication to work with them. But our present concern is the young people of today who are facing a lot of problems in their day-to-day lives with the advent of AI and many other social media playing an impact. I would encourage all of you to just one thing, ask them to seek help. That's the most important message that I want to give all of you. Please don't hide it under the bushel. let them go and seek help, and that indeed is most important. Thanks to the Express Group for this opportunity and this award.
But Dr. Srinivasan, just one more question related to that. Help isn't always available. I think we've seen that trained psychiatrists, psychologists are still a rare commodity in India. How do we help overcome that?
See, help need not always be with a professional.
Right.
It can start with your family. It
Right.
can start with your friend. It can start with your colleague who is prepared to hear you out. You know, we had grandmothers at home
Yeah.
who were very good counselors. I see the present day counselors are not as good as our grandmothers.
Right.
Honestly.
Yeah.
You know, so one does not need to seek professional help all the time,
Right.
but just wear your heart out
Just listen.
and talk
Yeah.
and listen. I mean, that's all I'm saying.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And another round of applause, please, for Dr. Srinivasan and for all that she does. Thank you. Please, this way. The second Devi of the evening goes to Vinu Supraja, designer, for being a visionary, sustainable fashion designer whose work fuses heritage, art and ethics, and for her close collaboration with grassroots artisan communities. Founder of the fashion label at Shanghai Fashion Week, Vinu Supraja is the author of What is Sustainable Fashion, an antidote to fashion pollution, and host of the Via Vino podcast. I must listen to this. The New Indian Express honors Vinu Supraja, Devi of Style and Substance, I may add. Applause, please. Thank you. We just heard Dr. Srinivasan talking about grandmothers. Our grandmothers were also great at sustainable fashion. We seem to have lost that art. Why? And how can we revive it?
The very big loss that this generation has is the wardrobe stories.
Yeah.
If you look at our grandmother's wardrobe, it used to be a trunk box, and there was a story attached to every single sari that she had.
Yes.
And that's the reason she didn't throw them away.
Yeah.
She kept it and gave it off to the next generation. We don't have a reason to buy anything. We just go for a coffee, find a sale somewhere, get that 75th t-shirt on our wardrobe, and
Or
just
we
throw it
just
off.
press a button online and
Yes, night
order it.
scrolling, just press and buy, right? So we don't have that emotion attached to
Yeah.
our clothes, and I think that's the biggest loss that we have, from our grandmother's days to ours.
What are you doing about that?
I have stopped buying clothes for many years now, and my family and friends pity on me. They think I am repeating clothes because, I have gone crazy. But that's another thing that we have lost, right? There is nothing wrong in repeating what you have already worn, and you should be a proud repeater of clothes. If somebody is judging you for repeating a garment, I think it's not your problem, it's their problem. And I think it's a sign to just stay away from them. That's very toxic, I guess.
I love your hairband.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you. Our next Devi of the evening is Tulasamati, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, Murugesan, badminton Paralympian, for overcoming her disability to become the first Indian woman shuttler to win a silver at the 2024 Paralympics, and having been national champion competing alongside able-bodied athletes. A student at the Government Veterinary College and Research Institute, Tulasamati Murugesan is world number 1 in singles, number 2 in doubles, and number 3 in mixed doubles internationally. The New Indian Express honors Tulasamati Murugesan, Devi of Courage. Tulasi, I wanted to ask you, apart from being a badminton player, you're also training to be a vet. Talk a little about why you chose to be one. Obviously love animals, but...
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I feel so grateful in Express. Standing here in between all these incredible women itself is a big honor for me, and also I feel so small in this room.
No way.
I think I'm a veterinary student now, final year veterinary medicine student. I think my father is the one who motivated me since childhood. He was my coach for the past 13 years. I come from a lower middle class family. My father is a daily laborer, and we lived in a hut house where rainy days and summers are so important for us. During rainy days we used to keep vessel to catch water, and during summers it would catch fire. Happened quite a few times. During all these situations, my father was the one who stood for us and made us to achieve something in life. As my left hand is shrunken, everyone called me alien. Due to my dark skin tone, I was teased as Karupi in my school days. And I also heard a daily wage daughter cannot become a doctor, but now I'm standing here as a final year veterinary medicine graduate, and also as a first Indian woman shuttler to reach finals and win silver medal in the Paralympics. The schedule is quite hectic. I used to wake up morning 4:30 and goes to practice by 5 till 7:30 practice, and coming back 8 to evening 5 p.m. college, and then coming back 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. practice, and then 9 to 11 studying, and then going back to sleep, and then repeat. Quite tiring to say, right? This has been my routine for the past 13 years. I think I'm working hard, so I'll still work hard and try to get more medals for our country and make you all proud. So next week we are traveling to World Championship to Bahrain. So I'll request you all to keep me in your prayers and wish me good luck. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I think this is what I think Malika meant when she talked about having a goal. Once your goal is quite clear, no matter what the hurdles, you will get there. So I think she epitomizes that. Wonderful. The next Devi of the evening is Ganpati Santhi, nursing superintendent, for saving lives of many newborns while mentoring a whole new generation of nursing professionals and being instrumental in establishing the Human Milk Bank at the Institute of Child Health and Hospital for Children, EGMO. It's a first in Tamil Nadu. As nursing superintendent at the Hospital for Women and Children, MMC EGMO, Chennai, Santhi has had a distinguished career spanning 35 years. The New Indian Express honors Ganpati Santhi, Devi of Love. Santhi, would you like to say something?
Good evening, everyone. I am very happy, very grateful, deeply honored to receive the prestigious award, Devi Award, from our New Indian Express. This recognition means a lot for me. This recognize the differentiation about hard work and the dedication of my job. It motivates me further services. Nursing has not been just a profession, you know. It has been a lifelong commitment to care, compassion, and service to sick peoples, not only sick peoples, others. I am a newborn care nurse. Past 26 years, I have seen lots and lots sick newborns, low birth weight babies, and preterm babies. And also, I have worked with human milk banking. They help, this bank help many of the babies have milk from human milk banking. The milk bank saved many babies. We encourage the mothers to feed their child. We know the human milk, our mom's own milk is very prestigious. So only good nutrition for our babies. So we have to encourage young mothers to feed their own milk to the babies. This time, here I would like to thank my parents, my family, and all our team members. Thank you.
And all the babies that you've taken care of. All the babies that you've taken care of, I'm sure they're very grateful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The next Devi of the evening is Dr. Soumya Swaminathan, pediatrician and scientist. For being a globally recognized public health scientist with over 4 decades of experience in clinical care, research, and health policy, and playing a pivotal role during COVID-19 by coordinating global scientific efforts and helping establish COVAX to ensure equitable vaccine access for low and middle income countries as the World Health Organization's chief scientist. The New Indian Express honors Dr. Soumya Swaminathan, Devi of Scientific Research. May we have a huge round of applause for her. I think we all remember the COVID days and how tough they were and how much of a part she played in reassuring us. Dr. Swaminathan, do you think we've forgotten all the lessons learned from COVID, or have we remembered them?
Well, I think human memory is very short, and we like to go in cycles of panic and neglect.
Yeah.
So every few months we'll be in a panic cycle when we think there's a new virus coming and then we forget. But no, I think the main lesson from the COVID pandemic for me was that science is what is going to help solve our problems, has solved humanity's problems, but only if we collaborate, work together, share ideas. And during COVID, we saw the global scientific community come together, and without any kind of, the usual restrictions that scientists usually have on keeping their data, wanting to hold on to it and so on. There was none of that. There was one mission, one goal, and that was to find a vaccine and to find the diagnostics and so on. So it taught me that along with science, which can give you the solution, also needs solidarity.
Yeah.
And I think in today's world, we have a lot of problems, but we also have a lot of young people with amazing ideas, and I think we can be very optimistic, provided of course that humanity still stays together and
That's the biggest challenge.
Yes.
A lot of our leaders perhaps are not doing enough to ensure that.
because neither climate change nor viruses
Yeah.
respect national borders or
Exactly.
state borders or anything like that.
Yeah. Or tariffs.
Yeah, they don't know that this is the boundary and I have to stop. Exactly. So I think we live in a very interconnected
Yeah.
world, and we have to, I hope the next generation of young people will keep that in mind, even though this generation we seem to be messing things up quite a bit. But that needs to change.
Thank you so much. It was really a pleasure to have you with us. The sixth Devi of the evening is Mohana Sundari, social activist, for challenging gender barriers in a male-dominated profession, emerging as a strong leader, advocating financial independence, safety, and dignity for women in urban mobility. Mohana Sundari is president of the Veera Pengal Munitra Sangam, a collective of women auto drivers in Chennai that empowers women and advances gender equality. The New Indian Express honors Mohana Sundari, Devi of Mobility. I'm a great votary of auto rickshaws, so thank you. So Mona, I feel autos don't get enough respect, you know. They're such wonderful, you speak in Tamil, but they're such wonderful ways to get about, you know. I just wondered how it was when you began driving an auto, how it was compared to, you know, it's quite a male-dominated profession. So how was it received? Thank you. Right, please.
எல்லாருக்கும் வணக்கம். எனக்கு இங்கிலீஷ் தெரியாது, நான் தமிழ்ல பேசுறேன்.
We understand you.
நான் ஒரு ஆட்டோ டிரைவர். கடந்த ஒரு 8 வருஷமா நான் ஆட்டோ ஃபீல்டில் இருக்கேன். 2 வீலர் 3 வீலர் 4 வீலர் ஆல் வெஹிக்கிள்ஸ் வந்து நான் டிரைவ் பண்ணுவேன். நிறைய ஆட்டோ டிரைவர்ஸ்க்கு வந்து நிறைய பிரச்சனை இருக்குது. சிங்கிள் பேரண்டாக இருக்காங்க, ஆட்டோ ஓட்டுறதுல கஷ்டம், ஒரு லோன் பிரச்சனை, ஒரு வீடு தர மாட்டாங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு நிறைய விமன்ஸ் வந்து பிரச்சனையை பற்றியே என்கிட்ட சொல்லுவாங்க. ஸோ இந்த பிரச்சனையை நாம தீர்க்கிறதுக்கு என்ன பண்ணலாம் அப்படின்னு ஒரு சில நேரம் நாங்கள் யோசிக்கும் போது வீர பெண்கள் முன்னேற்ற சங்கம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு யூனியனை நாங்கள் ரெஜிஸ்டர் பண்ணி சங்கமாக நாங்கள் ட்ராவல் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம். ஆனால் சென்னையில் வந்து 500 விமன் டிரைவர் நாங்கள் இருக்கோம் அப்படின்னா யாருக்குமே தெரிய மாட்டேங்குது. அது தெரிவிக்கிறதுக்கு என்ன பண்ணலாம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு நாங்கள் சோஷியல் மீடியா வந்து நாங்கள் யூஸ் பண்ண நாங்கள் ஆரம்பித்தோம். சோஷியல் மீடியா யூஸ் பண்ணும்போது ஆட்டோ குயின்ஸ் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு டாக்குமெண்ட்ரி எடுத்தோம். நானும் லீலாக்கா அப்படின்னு ஒரு அது எந்த அளவுக்கு ரீச் ஆச்சுன்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, ஆம்ஸ்டர்டாம்ல நெதர்லாண்டுன்ற ஒரு ஊர்ல தமிழ்நாட்டிலே தமிழ் படம் டிரான்ஸ்போர்ட் செக்டார்ல ஃபர்ஸ்ட் அங்கே வந்து செலக்ட் ஆச்சு எங்களோட படம். இது மட்டும் தான் பண்ணமா, இன்னும் நீங்க என்ன பண்ணலாம் அப்படின்னு நீங்க நினைப்பீங்க. அதுக்கு என்ன ஒரு வழி பண்ணிருக்கோம்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, எங்களோட பிரச்சனையை தீர்க்கிறதுக்காக ஒரு பிசினஸ் மாடல் எடுக்கலாம். ஸோ டிரைவர்ஸும் நாங்களே இருக்கணும், அதுல வர இன்கமும் எங்களுக்கே வரணும் அப்படின்றதுக்காக கூட்டுறவு சங்கம் அப்படின்றத நாங்க ரெஜிஸ்டர் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். யாரோட உதவியும் இல்லாம நாங்களே எங்களோட லாயர் இருக்காங்க, அவங்களோட சப்போர்ட்ல வந்து நாங்க ரெஜிஸ்டர் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். ஸோ 2026 தேவி அவார்ட்ஸ் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டைமா நான் இங்க வாங்குறேன். அடுத்த அச்சீவ்மெண்ட் என்னன்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, 2030க்குள்ள 3000 விமன் டிரைவரை நாங்கள் டெவலப் பண்ணி அவங்களோட வாழ்வாதாரத்தை உயர்த்தணும் அப்படின்றத நாங்கள் முடிவு பண்ணியிருக்கோம். ஸோ இந்த அவார்ட்ஸ் கொடுத்ததுக்கு ரொம்ப ரொம்ப நன்றி. ரொம்ப நான் பெருமையாக நினைக்கிறேன். ஒரு டிரைவர்ஸ்க்கும் இவ்வளோ ஒரு இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் கொடுத்து நீங்கள் வந்து கொடுக்குறீங்க. இது வந்து எங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப மோட்டிவேஷனாக இருக்குது. ஸோ இந்த எஃபெக்ட்டுக்கு நம்மளுக்கு இவ்வளோ பெரிய அவார்ட் கிடைக்குதுன்னா இன்னும் எஃபெக்ட் போடணும் அப்படின்ற ஒரு மைண்டில் நான் வந்து எடுத்துக்கிறேன். ரொம்ப ரொம்ப நன்றி.
Thank you so much. She's a real auto queen, huh? Okay, I'm allowed to have favorites, right? The 7th Devi winner is my personal favorite. So Hasni Maniratnam, actor and filmmaker, for her pioneering contribution to Indian cinema, her enduring commitment to women's voices and social transformation. Across 4 decades and over 350 films, I don't know how she does it, so Hasni Maniratnam has shaped stories with empathy and courage, while extending her influence beyond the screen through mentorship, institutional building, and the NAM Foundation. The New Indian Express honors Suhasini Maniratnam, Devi of Transformation. Of course, please. May we have the NAM coaches here? And you must explain what they do. Because Nitya told me, but I think we should tell everyone. Wow. Nice. That's lovely. Please. Please go to that side. Please go that side. I hope someone's taking good pictures. Wow, lovely. We need male allies, sir. Lovely. So Hasni, I want to ask you about NAM Foundation. I've heard that it's doing very interesting things such as cleaning up Marina Beach, yeah? And you're working on the library, yeah. So talk a little about all these initiatives, and it's all with the NAM women. Talk about it.
Good evening, everyone.
Although I actually want to ask you about Dulquer Salman, but it's all right. She did a lovely ad with him recently.
Whenever Kaveri calls me, I know it's going to be a wonderful evening. I will listen to her, talking to other people, learn a lot, and also meet wonderful people who have achieved much more than any of us can ever do. So I immediately said, yes, I'm coming.
Thank you.
I don't think it's just for the films that I've done, because the films that I do, I think the credit goes to the producer and the director and the writer for forming my character. Of course, I have always been very careful about the films that I do because it has a huge impact on people. If it didn't have that impact, I wouldn't be acting for 45 years. This will be my 46th year actually. Wow. But I'm going for shooting on 3rd, 4th and 5th. So cinema has that great impact on people, so we have to be even more careful. But today I think it's all about NAM Foundation. We are a 16-year-old NGO and we take care of single women. And Dr. Soumya was just talking about alcoholism. Most of our women, 99% of them have lost their husbands, and in that 99%, 90% have lost it to alcohol. So I think that's something we all have to think about, how to get rid of alcohol problem in India and Tamil Nadu. What we do is we do hand-holding of single women. We have auto drivers. எங்க கூட auto driver இருக்காங்க எங்க கிட்ட. யாரெல்லாம் பேரு சொல்லுங்க? ஆண்டாள் இருக்காங்க. And then there was one lady in the beginning. Yeah, we have about 3-4 auto drivers, and we bought them autos, and we have valet parking drivers whom we trained. Yes. And you know, and yes, 16-year-old NGO, and now I think we are starting a citizens movement called N Chennai. It is not Namma Chennai anymore. It's not our Chennai. It's my Chennai. All of us have to take civic responsibilities, and there's a big group of people who have decided to kind of help the corporation and the city for a cleaner Chennai. It's not enough if our GDP is up. We have to have that civic sense. And also, so many wonderful people here. This Victoria Public Hall is going to be a destination for true art. It's not playing to the gallery. We all have, done enough playing to the gallery. This will be art and real art form.
And it's just been restored, right?
Yes, it's been restored, 1887 built. Now there is a beautiful 300-seater hall, and I'm going to be curating the first 48 concerts.
Wow.
Can you believe it? I didn't even realize that I'm going to do it. I told them 6 months I will help them out. Saturday and Sunday. The inauguration is going to be on 7th of this month. So that's it.
That's an occasion.
Yeah, so credit goes to all the wonderful women who are all sitting there and the women who haven't come today too. Thank you so much for this award. I'm really honored. And Mallika, a small thing like your shoe, I told as she came, I said, see, they always talk about women against women. Women is women's enemy and all that. That's not true. I knew Mallika was coming and she has long hair, so I tied my hair today. I didn't want to be competition, not competition of long hair today. So I decided that. So women are women's friends.
Yes,
We have to be together. Not like we are against men. We love you, okay? I love my husband, I love my son, I love you too. But all women, we have to be together.
Can't exist without each other.
Yes, absolutely.
We all love money too, so it's all right. You can tell him that when you go home.
I'll tell him I'm delayed because they all love you, so you take care of your dinner yourself.
Thank you so much. Thank you. A huge round of applause. I think the Naam women were also so amazing. It's so lovely. The eighth Devi of the evening is Deborah Tyagarajan, museologist, for her pioneering contribution to the world of arts, crafts, folk performing arts, and the lifestyles of the 5 South Indian states under the Dakshina Chitra Museum, which I believe is like a Chennai institution. And for telling the stories of thousands of years of heritage. Founder and president of the Madras Craft Foundation, Deborah Tyagarajan was also convener of Intact Tamil Nadu. The New Indian Express honors Deborah Tyagarajan, Devi of Preservation. Can we have a round of applause for someone who's chosen to make Chennai her home and has become an institution in Chennai herself? Deborah, I'm going to call you Deborah, I cannot call you Maya. So Debbie, okay, that's a little too informal for me. Debbie, when you came to Chennai, I wonder which year it was, and what is it like now? How do you see that change?
I came in 1970, so I've been here 55 and a half years actually.
Wow.
And India has changed a lot in that 55 and a half years. In fact, I'm trying to chronicle it, of all that I've experienced. And of course, I married into an Indian family from Madurai. And it's been a wonderful journey, and I think I've been very fortunate. I've been very enriched by being in India. I don't think I could have had the same depth of experience or relationships with people had I not come to India.
And you speak Tamil?
I speak Tamil, but I'm not going to try it now.
I don't know the difference. Wonderful. So you learned it.
Yeah, I've learned Tamil and can read it also.
Wow. Well done.
I'm still struggling. I think I'll struggle till I die because it's not an easy language. And I wish I'd spent more time on it through the years. You'll laugh, even though I tried to learn it here. I went back to the University of Pennsylvania when I wanted to start the museum to do more in Indian art. And I went on a fellowship, a language fellowship. So I had to take Tamil courses at the University of Pennsylvania, and they were very strict, and so I learned a lot of Tamil, even in the US.
Oh, wow. Wonderful. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for the museum, which I believe is wonderful, and I hope I get to see it
I
next
just
time.
wanted to say one thing after what Dr. Tara said.
Yeah.
You know, about 50% of the young people today have mental health problems. And one of the things that we're trying to address at Dakshin Chitra is to show young people particularly how they can go back to their roots, how they can discover, reflect on who they are.
Right.
Because with all this digitization, it's pretty hard for people to understand where they come from, what they stand for, what their values are. And even a museum like Dakshin Chitra can work on that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The next award of the evening goes to Susanna Turcott, educator, for her unwavering commitment to early childhood education and community development, dedicating her life to empowering vulnerable and differently abled children in India. Through the founding of the Mountain View Nursery and Primary School and her continued work with Relief Projects India, Susanna Turcott has transformed compassion into action. The New Indian Express honors Susanna Turcott, Devi of the Disenfranchised. We have a round of applause for her. Susanna, I wonder when you first came to India, I think it was to work with the tsunami survivors. Did you ever imagine you'd still be here? And when was that, 2000?
Well, we moved permanently in 2006, a year really after the tsunami.
Right.
My husband had been to help the year before. And we just felt we're growing older, we're retirement age, let's do something useful. We hoped we'd be here. We didn't really know what we were going to do, but then getting involved with helping a home that rescued unwanted baby girls near Madurai is what took us to Madurai area, Madurai district, and led to us starting a school for the village children. So I was particularly inspired to see such a wonderful example here tonight of what the daughter of a day laborer can accomplish, because that's very similar to the children we work with. They're children of fairly impoverished farmers, day laborers, villages. And I think I have one of the best jobs because it's so fun working with them. It's a source of great joy. And our goal really is to help them achieve their potential.
Have there been stories, children who've come back to you having accomplished something that they're very proud of, and how does that make you feel?
Well, the school only opened in 2015, so we haven't been open that long, but we also, while the school was being built, we ran free tuition centres for government school children. We still have about 10 of those in different villages. And last year, one of the attendees who had been to those tuition centres for many years joined our staff as a preschool teacher. Wow. So that was super inspiring. Our school principal, she is the daughter of somebody who works in a brick kiln. Her father absconded, so she grew up with a single parent. Her education was sponsored by an NGO which shows the power of assisting, some of these children. And she joined us as a preschool teacher and is now a very, very capable and accomplished principal in the school. And that's been wonderful to see her journey.
Thank you so much. And it's wonderful to see your journey. Thank you so much. Deborah won't tell you, but she's also Katrina Kaif's mother, just in case you wanted to know. But I think Katrina admires her a lot. I once, in fact, spoke to Katrina where she spoke so proudly of the work that you've done and how she sometimes comes to assist you as well. So I think she's very, very proud of you, as she should be. The 10th Devi of the evening is, oh God, these names, no? Forgive a North Indian. Muthamil Selvi Narayanan, mountaineer. For being the first Tamil woman to conquer Mount Everest, wow, and journeying across the highest peaks of the world's 7 continents, which places her among India's most inspiring pioneers in adventure sports. Beyond mountaineering, Muthamil Selvi Narayanan is a powerful advocate for women's capabilities through daring feats that redefine how society perceives women's strength. The New Indian Express honors Muthamil Selvi Narayanan, Devi of Ascent. Can we have applause for her? Oh, please do. Please do call her. Yes.
Manoharanna and Kumaran Sedupati, please come to the stage.
I always say that the women always call their brothers or husbands. The men, you'll never see them calling their wives on stage when it comes to receiving awards. So please join us. Are you a mountaineer as well? Are you a mountaineer? Acha. So Selvi, what are these daring feats that you've done? Some crazy stuff, I believe. Can you talk about it?
Vanakkam. ஏன் நான் தமிழ்ல பேசுறேன்னா I went out all over the world, but everyone speaking their own language.
Yeah.
Why we are speaking in English language?
Sorry.
We are a Tamilan, so I want to speak Tamil language.
Please do.
Because I faced many places. அவங்க எல்லாருமே அவங்க லாங்குவேஜ்ல பேசுவாங்க, பட் இங்கிலீஷ் கூட யூஸ் பண்ண மாட்டாங்க. நான் அங்கே தனியாக ஃபீல் பண்ணுவேன், அலோனா ஃபீல் பண்ணுவேன். இங்கே எல்லாருமே நம்ம பீப்புள் தான் இருக்கோம். ஸோ அதனால பயம் அப்படின்றது வாழ்க்கையில் இருக்கக்கூடாது எல்லாருக்கும் அப்படின்றது தான் என்னோட ஃபர்ஸ்ட் கோல். ஸோ அதை பீட் பண்ணுறதுக்காக தான் நான் மவுண்ட் எவரெஸ்ட்கே போனேன். நான் மவுண்ட் எவரெஸ்ட் என்னோட ட்ரீம்லாம் இல்லை. எனக்கு ஏதாவது ஒரு பிளேஸ் வேணும் ஸ்டாண்டிங்க்கு, இந்த மாதிரி மைக்கு பிடிச்சி பேசுறதுக்கு. அதுக்கு மவுண்ட் எவரெஸ்ட் நான் சூஸ் பண்ணியிருந்தேன். நான் மவுண்ட் எவரெஸ்ட் ஏறணும்னு சூஸ் பண்ணேன். பிளான் நான் போட்டேன். ஆனால் அந்த பேஸ்மெண்ட் போட்டது டெப்டி சிஎம் உதயநிதி ஸ்டாலின் சார். அண்ட் அந்த ஃபினிஷிங் அந்த கன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ஷனை பண்ணது படப்பை மனோகரண்ணா. ஏன்னா ஒரு பிளான் மட்டும் நம்ம பண்ணிட்டா எல்லாத்தையும் பண்ணிட முடியாது. பிஹைண்ட் மென் சப்போர்ட் இருந்தாங்க எனக்கு. சம் விமென்க்கு பிஹைண்ட் அவங்க ஓன் ஸ்டாண்ட்ல இருப்பாங்க. பட் என்னோட சக்சஸ்க்கு பின்னாடி மெனி மென்ஸ் இருக்காங்க. அதுல ஒரு சில பேர் தான் இவங்க. உண்மையிலே நான் இன்னைக்கு பெருமையா சொல்றேன், நம்மளோட சக்சஸ் நம்ம கிட்ட மட்டும் கிடையாது, நமக்கு பின்னாடி நிறைய பேர் இருக்காங்க. அதுக்கும் எனக்கு பின்னாடி நிறைய மென் இருக்காங்க. தேங்க்யூ so much.
I think I understood that. Thank you. The next Devi of the evening is Aisha Rao, founder, The Little Theatre. For popularizing theatre as a tool for child development and introducing thousands of hospitalized children to creative therapy and clowning. Founder of The Little Theatre in 1991 to provide creative training to children, extending it to toddlers and babies and grandchildren. Aisha Rao is also the author of 4 children's books. The New Indian Express honors Aisha Rao, Devi of Performance. Can we have a huge round of applause? And also for her granddaughter, Atya. Her name is Adya.
I would like to call my daughter on stage
Please.
as well.
What's her name? Where is she?
The CEO of the Little Theatre.
Come. Don't say no, come. When your mother tells you to do something, you do it, okay? What is this? You have to set a good example to your child. Always listen to mama. No. That's lovely. Oh, that's so sweet. So, Aisha, how transformative can theatre be, especially for little children? Yeah, I'd like to ask you.
So I've been doing this work for the last 34 years. But I must say, my little granddaughter, I started working with her from when she was 2 weeks old. Wow. Right? And she is my little mentor and her best friend, Mika. They are the two little ones I worked with from when they were 6 months old. And that's how I developed the baby theatre workshops. So I do baby theatre for the 1 to 2 year olds. But toddler theatre I've been doing for the last 16 years for the 2 to 4 year olds.
Right.
How transformative is it? So this little baby is an example of being brought up through the arts. She does not look at screens. She loves to read. She's learning to play the piano. She will spontaneously dance. She writes her own little books.
Wow.
Okay? And I think it is because we have been very, very, sure that we wanted to bring her up through the arts. And the arts is what helps you develop the left side of your brain, music and rhythm. And that's what you need to be a scientist. I'm actually a marine microbiologist.
Wow, really?
And my favorite subject at school was maths.
Wow.
Okay, but I was brought up learning to play the piano, and we did dance. And I do believe that if you can bring your children up through the arts, they will become much better human beings. You develop empathy, self-confidence, self-esteem, and you end up, appreciating the differences. And that, I feel, is so important in this world today.
Yeah. All the things that we've been talking about today, really,
Yeah.
that's what leadership is.
And I think it's also the arts that will help you with your mental health.
Yeah.
Okay, music, it has a calming effect. Dance, because you throw yourself into that dance. It helps you get rid of anxiety and, whatever pressure that you are feeling. The simple idea of storytelling, you can tell your own story. So you are, getting rid of all that pressure inside you. So it's amazing what the arts can do for anybody. I mean, it doesn't matter whether you're a boy or a girl.
And whatever age.
And whatever age. My mother acted in my Christmas pantomime at the age of 92.
Wow.
She did all 8 performances, and she was incredible on stage. So age is not a barrier.
Not at all.
And Atya was 4 years old when she was on stage last year. And I think it's just amazing what arts can do for you. And research now has shown you need to stimulate all the areas of your brain between the age of 0 to 4. Because that's the bit of your brain that's going to continue to grow for the rest of your life. Okay? So if you do not stimulate the brains at between 0 to 4, those areas of your brain will remain dormant for the rest of your life. So I think it is really important to work with your babies from a very tiny age. Did I answer your question?
Very much so. And I'm so happy that you say you can learn at any age. You can do theatre at any age. So I'm up for it. Thank you. Thank you so much. The last Devi of the evening is Jayashree Venkatesan, environmentalist, for her transformative leadership in wetland conservation and lifelong commitment to protecting India's fragile ecosystems. Through the co-founding of Care Earth Trust and decades of science-led restoration work, Jayashree Venkatesan has brought neglected wetlands into the national consciousness, safeguarding biodiversity and resilience for future generations. The New Indian Express honors Jayashree Venkatesan, Devi of Ecology. Jayashree can't be with us today. She's not well. She had told me that she was having mobility issues. But Anjana, her daughter, and also program lead, Care Earth Trust. She specializes in global risk assessment, climate change and water. She's here to receive it on her behalf. No, Anjana, we won't let you go. Just because your mother's not here doesn't mean you get to escape so easily. What's it been like watching your mother do the work she does? It's tough, but it obviously has had a huge impact on you because you're doing pretty much what she would have liked you to do. So talk a little about her.
First, thank you, New Indian Express and the panel for the award. On behalf of her and the Care Earth Trust organization, also congrats to the fellow awardees today. Watching her do what I do, I think I am who I am because of her today. And in fact, she didn't want me to come into conservation because she said it's a very difficult field and choose something easy, that I can do. But somehow I found my way here. And I think in school, whenever they asked this question, who's your role model, who's your inspiration, I could never think of like a political leader or a celebrity, and I wondered why. And then it took me a really long time for the light bulb to go on that she's that inspiration for me. So really proud of receiving it on her behalf today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
and
sir.
I'm sure she's very proud of your work as well. Thank you so much. Yeah, first may I request Mr. Chawla to gift a memento to Ms. Srinivasan, then we'll do the photo op. All of you, please get your trophies ready. We'll do a photo op with all of you, and I hope you get to keep that picture as well. Wow. Thank you, Malika, for being here and for inspiring us with everything that you said. May I request the Devis to come on stage with their trophies, and we can do a photo op. And then I'll ask Lakshmi to come and deliver the vote of thanks. Lakshmi, you'd like to do it now? And then you can join the photo op. Sorry, come. While they're assembling.
As we come to the close of this inspiring evening, on behalf of the New Indian Express Group, our heartfelt gratitude to Ms. Mallika Srinivasan, Chairman and Managing Director of TEFE, for so graciously joining us this evening. Her tales of empowerment of the farmers of Rajasthan and a party of Tamil Nadu, the need to be focused on values and not to lose our focus on the vision is something that we would remember. A warm thank you to our presenting partner Adani for their continued support of the Devi Awards. For faith in this initiative allows us to keep spotlighting extraordinary women. Our gratitude also to our luxury partner Volvo, jewelry partner Lalita Jewelers, Exchange Partner NSE, Associate Partner Sundari Silks, India Circus by Krishna Mehta, Achi Masala, Knowledge Partner Crescent Institute of Technology, MOP Vaishnav College for Women, Kingmakers IAS Academy, and Content Partner Indulge. A big thank you to all our wonderful awardees, our Devis who've inspired us tonight with their incredible stories. You are the reason this platform exists, and your journeys remind us that empowerment is not an event, it is a continuing movement. To our audience, thank you for your presence, warmth, and encouragement. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for being with us. May we continue to honor, celebrate, and emulate women who make a difference every single day.
And now may I ask Lakshmi to join the photo. Okay. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for being such a good audience. Thank you all the Devis. And now for dinner, we have, please do join us. And Lakshmi, you want to talk a little bit? Apparently, it's quite a feast, so please do join us. Thank you so much. See you next year.